Hello, I'm Maria from the Richardson's Homeschool Life. Today's Tuesday, so I'm back with another vlog. This week I'm going to show you a quick look round Calke Abbey and then come back and have a little chat with you. We did go to Calke Abbey last year, but as I was saying last week, that we weren't able to go around all of it last year because of all the restrictions, and the top floor, third floor, we couldn't go up there because it's narrow stairs and they hadn't got any way of keeping the distance for people, you know. So we went back and I've done some filming of those top floors. So that's what I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to have a little chat about them and why I was interested in going back there and how it leads into next week's video. So yeah, if you want to have a look at Calke Abbey, it was about a year ago we went, and I've filmed it. It'll be amongst my videos. So if you want to sort of scan back a year and have a look for Calke Abbey, if you'd like to have a look around and see what it was like, then you can see the rest of it. And because I didn't film all of it this time, I didn't see the need beans, I'd already shown it yet. So I just filmed the little bits that we'd not been able to go round. So yeah, I'll show you them now and I'll come back and have a chat with you in a moment. This floor was missing. Yes, this is a very strange room, as on many others. But Sir Vauncey, who was the last baronet, had this as his boyhood bedroom. So we call this Sir Vauncey's room. And then we also think that when he came back as an adult, when he was the new baronet, that he had it as a bit of a man cave, his den where he could keep all his collections. So hence all the shells and all his stacks heads and everything else. And the army were here in the war and moved a lot of stuff, but
pictures down, aren't they? Because they're all
yeah, you can see where they've been on the wall.
you see the wallpaper coming up there. You don't make them like that now.
Flat pack in those days. It's not meant to have. It's got to stay in the state it's in.
You say they've done it, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've preserved it in the way they found it.
I bet it costs more to do that than just doing it all. It's a lot harder. It's like a little doll's bed. Sean. So you're just taking all the pictures.
Unless you can do it through messages. Do you have messages on that phone?
So yeah, I'll sort it out now.
Have they got anything up there? Wow, another library. How many books were in there?
That room is quite unusual because many bedrooms have an ante-room, which is very often was either a dressing room or where the ladies' maid slept. But it's quite rare to have an ante-room off of an ante-room. So you've got the one room there that you're in and another room there, which makes us think probably.
Yeah.
Well, no, you made us go in a circle twice and Mum found the route. We lost them. God, I was taking pictures.
Now there's a great coffee table for you.
Yeah, that'd be alright actually. That'd be lovely.
Still using the sponge.
You wouldn't know.
Squeeze something on. Oh, it's a table of my dreams.
Oh, God.
I could get a fair bit of food on there.
I wonder if you can fit the whole family in
We could do nearly.
Dad, you've got a transfer now.
Let's get drunk.
Let's get drunk. Nice and cool down here for keeping things like
When
that.
Grandma and Grandad's, all of the children come back.
Yeah, when all your children come to visit,
Yeah.
I'd sit in here.
Yeah.
spooky along here now. Just checking you're all still behind me. Oh, I don't want to be locked in here. Goes miles. Where have you all gone? Yeah, watch your head because some parts are a bit low. They're like we're walking toward the light.
Moving on. Your dad's struggling a bit. Look, your mum's absolutely fine.
I'm the only one who hasn't got
I
the
know,
door.
yeah.
And you, Emily.
Look like you're struggling. Oh, is that?
I can see light at the end. Feels more like we're in a castle than a house.
Hello, probably thinking you.
Because you've got long legs, just watch your head. That's like a cubbyhole. That's why they store things, because it is really cool under here. We're not alone, I can hear people behind us.
Like
We're not alone and lost.
My camera's faster than yours. My camera's faster than yours. I feel like
You watch your dead end, we got all the way back. Can we get out there or not? Oh, right, please keep the left to wherever wants. Hold on. It's like a castle.
Last used in the 1860s. It's been brewed for about 100 years in this location in Calke Abbey. Originally the brewing was done at the back of the kitchen area, and as you came along the tap there was a room on the left hand side. That's as far as the time used to go. When they built this stable block in 1710, that was the entrance for groups of staff to get to the house. Then they decided to move the brewing If you'd come here in 1924, that little carriage over there would have come and met you at the gate and brought you up to the house, because the last row wouldn't allow motor cars on the side. So these were regularly used till 1924.
Okay, so as you can see, some of that was like the people who lived there, their quarters, and some regarded servants' things. I'll just adjust you a minute. I was hoping to see some like servants' quarters where you saw the beds and the sort of things that they had, but I've not seen anything like that yet. And I was hoping that's what it was, but it wasn't. But it does feature a lot of things about servants and the life there, because it showed you the young master's bedroom and all his toys and things like that. That was really good seeing his things. And the lady had said to us that his maid always wanted to clean his bedroom, but he wouldn't let anybody touch it, he didn't like it, and he would go years and years without touching it. Anyway, in 1923, she actually cleaned it, and he said to her, that's it now, I don't want to see you back cleaning it till 1925. So he didn't like his room being cleaned, but apparently he died before 1925, so he never got it cleaned again, not until the National Trust took over anyway. So yeah, we were looking at some of the rooms that had been shut off there. You could see the red carpet on the floor. Where that ended was where they'd closed the house off from beyond that. So I tried to focus in on some of the ceilings, how they were cracked and where the paper's coming off. It isn't in a state of disrepair because the National Trust, I was going to say National Health for some reason, and the National Trust, they preserved it in the state they found it. So it's like preserved in decay, if you know what I mean. So that, I imagine they've probably spent a lot more preserving it to that way than what they would have done if they were doing it up, sort of thing. So yeah, how you see what I've scanned in around on the ceilings with the cracks and the peeling wallpaper, that's exactly how they found it, and that's how they're now maintaining it, so you can see how it was, which is quite good really. It's interesting to see like that. But yeah, there was a story, yeah, like I said, about the young master and his maid who liked to do the cleaning. Also, it showed you, I couldn't go in very well because it was quite narrow. There was other people in there. It showed you a room with a double bed in, and that was like the ladies' room. And it had got 2 ante-rooms off it, which was quite unusual because normally you'd just have the 1 ante-room. But for some reason, they said there was 2 ante-rooms. The ante-rooms normally where the say it was the lady of the house, it would be where her servant girl, her maid, slept, because she'd have her own lady who helped dress her, wash her and everything like that, and she'd sleep in the ante-room. And if there was no ante-room, they would sleep on the hallway outside the bedroom door of their mistress. So that's probably why there was no rooms with servants' quarters in them, which is what I'm hoping to find. I've not found any with servants' quarters where I can see like rows of beds or bedrooms done up for the servants yet. Also, what I did find very interesting was outside there was lots of tunnels. Well, actually there was one from the house. You see me going along tunnels. I was thinking of talking over it, telling you what they were, but then I thought no, because you can hear how nervous I am down there, and I thought it might be nice to let you see what a wimp I am. No. And in one of the rooms, you probably noticed, Dean jumped out on me, so the camera jumped, and that's why, because he jumped out on me. He said, I didn't know you was filming afterwards. So I've left that in, because it's all sort of fun activities, things we'd get up to when we're out, things we talk about. And it's just nice to see things in their natural habitat and families in their natural habitat, isn't it, rather than me sort of talk over it. So yeah, as I was saying about the tunnels, you've seen the big long one that went right through and came out in the brewery. So again, that would be like workers would have used that, and they brewed their own beer. Can't remember that. He did tell me, the creator did tell me how long it was going, to 19 something. It was going quite a long time they were brewing beer there, which is quite interesting. And also, I didn't film this other tunnel, but there's a lot of gardeners' tunnels, and they'd go from like one end of the garden to the other. I don't know why they had tunnels where they're not seen, I think, so like people in the house, visitors didn't see them because they would, you know, they were like a world away from everybody, if you know what I mean. There was the upper class and the lower class. So the workers were like a world away. So when they were out gardening, if you were out strolling the garden, lady of the manor, you didn't want to see workers all over the place. And they would sort of go from one end of the place to the other under tunnels. So we went under this really long tunnel, and it was so dark. And like one end, you could see the light at the other end. And it was like a very dim light. And it seemed to go on forever. And at first you start walking okay, but as you're leaving the light that's behind you and the light is far, far ahead of you, there was no light in the tunnel at all. Like the one I showed you going to the brewery had the odd little light, but this had no lights at all. So as you got further in, it was darker and darker till it was almost pitch black. Well, it was pitch black. All you could see was this dot of light in the distance, which you knew was your exit. And you do start to get disorientated. It was strange because I could feel myself sort of walking, staggering walking. I felt like I couldn't walk in a straight line. It was really weird. It was like because I hadn't got the senses of my vision or anything like that, and I couldn't touch nothing. There was no rail, no nothing to touch. It was sort of you feeling in the dark for sort of where the side of the walls were, and you got to keep going in this line. So I get a bit claustrophobic. So as I was getting to the middle, I was starting to think, you know, I don't like this. I want to be out on the other side. This is weird. And I was sort of staggering because you can't get your step. And we were in a row of us, so we could hear each other talking and talk to each other. But it was like it took forever to get out. It took forever. And I thought, you know, I would not have liked that. If I had to go through the garden or something and had to use the tunnels, I just wouldn't have liked doing that all the time. Although I must say it was a hot day when we was there and it was really cool under there. So that was one plus. It was cool because when you come out the other side, the heat went whoosh. But it was nice and cool. But yeah, it was a strange feeling because you can't walk in a straight line. You sort of stagger over the place a bit because there's no sense of where you are and you can't see where you are. It was really strange. I mean, I suppose I can imagine a bit how it would feel to be blind and you can't see nothing at all. Because all I could see was this light in the distance. So if you're blind, you wouldn't even see that. And it must be really hard to move around and not see where you're going, but sense where you're going. But yeah, it was a bit claustrophobic. I want to come out now. I kept going and I kept going and I kept going and trying to keep calm and luckily come out the other end unscathed. But yeah, I didn't film that. I don't think I'd have been able to have filmed it because you wouldn't have been able to see nothing. It would just be pitch black anyway. So it wouldn't have been worth filming. So yeah, what I did like was going into the little garage bit where all of the coaches were. That was really good. I had a good chat with the curator in there and he was telling me about the different coaches, what they used them for. And I was asking him how many horses pulled each carriage. And he was telling me like what sort of distance they could travel in time. He was saying that from Calke Abbey to Doncaster, it would have taken 5 hours. And that was with stopping in between, you know, probably give your horses a rest. Sometimes they changed horses. He said servants would go on the day before with horses and to halfway points and they would bed them up overnight, rest them up overnight, and then the carriage would meet them there the next day and they'd swap them over. And then the horse people, the servants who took care of the horses, they would stay with the horses, rest them up and take them back again. So it's quite a big process really. But I thought, well, that wasn't bad, 5 hours from Calke Abbey to Doncaster. Now Calke Abbey is, obviously in Calke. It's the other side of Repton in Derbyshire, as if anybody knows where that is. So it's a few miles the other side of Repton in Derbyshire. So from there up to Doncaster, I mean, now we just jump on the motorway and up we'd go, you know, in an hour. But then 5 hours, and I thought that's not bad going really, because they didn't have the motorways we have today and they were all on horsepower, and that's stopping with the rest as well. So I thought that's not bad going really. They certainly did, you know, cover some speed and some ground. So yeah, I was quite impressed by that, and I had a good chat in there. I was really taken by that, and I loved the coaches. I wished I could have got on one. I said I could just see myself on one of these. He says, yeah, I could imagine you in your younger days. This bloke didn't know me, but he said, I could imagine you in your younger days. And I thought, cheeky monkey in my younger days. Go on now. probably need a leg up though. They are quite high. But yeah, they were good. I mean, it doesn't do it justice just seeing it on the pictures like I show you. To be there and stood next to them was really good and impressive. So that was perhaps my favourite bit actually. I enjoyed going in there and talking about them. That was quite nice. So yeah, I just wanted to see this time the side of the life of the servants. I mean, you go around these houses and they're all flashy and opulent, and you know, they've got to be grander than the next manor house sort of thing, and they're all striving to, you know, show their wealth and that they've got more than the next person, and they're all making these wealthy moves and marriages and everything. But I wanted to look behind the scenes and how the servants were, because let's face it, they're not going to have run those houses without the servants. They needed the servants to keep everything running. It had been a big job for them on their own. I mean, by the time they'd got no money to pay servants and everything, look what happened. They couldn't pay the houses and couldn't pay the servants. They all ended up in National Trust. So they need all these people to keep the cogs going, and of course they needed the money as well. But some of these people were so arrogant, they made the most stupidest of moves and lost the money. But the ones that didn't and that were, you know, very savvy, they're the ones that have still got their big houses that are passed down to their family today. So yeah, but even then, you still need all your staff to keep everything going, because they're too big to do on your own. Running up and down the house all day long is enough, never mind running up some of them houses all day long without any help. But yeah, as I say, I wanted to see how the staff worked in the big houses, because I'm going to come back next week and I'm going to tell you this other, it's a mystery. It's not like the case of Rose Arsent. It's not a murder mystery, anything like that. But it is a bit of a mystery that we've not really been able to solve, and we're not going to be able to solve. I'm sure we're not going to be able to solve it. I don't see how we can solve it really, as I seem to have drawn a dead end. It came to a dead end, the story, as you'll see next week. I won't tell you too much about it, or it won't be worth me coming back with it next week. But yeah, I'm going to show you some pictures as well next week to go with the story. I was going to put some on today so you could tell me what you thought, and then I was going to come back with the story next week, but I've not got a chance to look them out. But I'll show you next week. So I'll show you some pictures at the beginning of the story, and we'll have a chat about it all, and you know, I'll tell you then what we think is what, but I don't know. Anyway, that's why I wanted to talk about servants, because it leads, well, you'll see next week and tell you the story, why I was interested in how they lived and everything and whatnot. So that's what we've been doing. I'm not going to say no more about that, or I'm going to end up telling you the story now. But I want to do it next week because I want to find some pictures and things to show you. So yeah, that's that for now anyway. And like I say, if you want to see the rest of Calke Abbey, just go back a year, roughly a year, sort of 11 months, 10, 11 months to a year, and you'll find the rest of it. If you want to have a look what it's like, it's well worth a visit. If you're round and about, close to, they are well worth a visit. But I did quite well actually there, because we went with my son and daughter-in-law and my grandchildren, and my daughter's allowed to go on with the card because they've got National Trust membership, so my daughter's allowed on the card because you're allowed up to so many children. So they allowed that. And then the person who was doing us at the gate took a price for me and Dean. So she just said 2 adults. So yeah. So that was £7 each she charged us. That was £14. So because they pass you through a booth on this stick thing, like a selfie stick, and they pass it and you have to take it off. So I just folded it, put it in my bag, thought no more about it. So when we went to go in the house, and you have to show your tickets. Obviously, my daughter-in-law shares a pass, and I took the tickets out to show her. Still not read them. And the woman said to me, oh, this is just for the parking grounds only, because you pay for the parking grounds separate from the house. And I went, oh, I didn't realise I wanted the whole thing. I said, she didn't ask me, I just assumed she gave me the whole thing. She says, oh, you're all together. She says, don't worry, just go in. She says, put your tickets away, just go in. She says, you're all together. So that was really good of her. She let us go in and we went in for free. But she just said, don't worry about it. She said, you're all together. So that was really nice of her. And then we ended up going around the house twice because we got lost. Would you believe it? They got these guide ropes going round. You have to follow them and follow the arrows. Well, this guide rope, as we come down the 3rd floor, the very narrow stairs, the guide rope was like it was against the stairs. And I thought, well, that's weird because there's no opening. Where do we go? We'll just have to step over it. And I'd seen some others step over it, so we just stepped over it and found ourselves following the same track all over again, what we'd already taken. So all round the 2nd floor, all the way up to the 3rd floor again to come all the way back down. Then there was this man in front, so I thought, let me see where he goes, because again we got to where this rope was against the wall. So he stopped, he looked, and then he sort of went between the rope, pushed the rope to one side and went between and vanished down this corridor. So, right, quick, we'll go this way, see where he's gone. So we went down the stairs and round, followed the rope on the inside this time, pushing the rope aside, around the corner. And down this corridor, there was a big door open and you go for it and different rooms again, takes you somewhere else. So, found a way out. So we ended up going round twice, and these curators upstairs going, have you just been round here? I said, yeah, but we can't find the way out. They're just laughing at us. Didn't help us to find the way out, just laughed. So we ended up following somebody else and found a way out. It's always fun and games when we go anywhere, always. So yeah, that is that for this week. I will see you next week now, and I will have a chat with you a bit more about servant's life, I suppose, and also about this mystery. You can tell me what you think about it next week. It's not a long one, it's only going to be a short one, but it'd be just nice to get somebody else's thoughts on it and see what you think. In the meantime, I'm going to keep digging to see if I can find any more information. I have done quite a lot of digging and I have drawn a dead end, but I'm going to do a bit more digging, see if in this next week I can find any more, but we'll see. You can tell me what you think anyway next week. So yeah, that's my week. It's gone quite hot again at the moment. So I'm staying indoors. I don't like to go out when it's too hot because it just makes you niggly, the heat does. So I'm staying indoors and the children have all been in the pool. I've had my granddaughter over at the weekend and they've been in the pool playing. So yeah. I hope summer keeps going because I haven't had my holidays yet. We're having a later holiday this year, so I'm hoping for an Indian summer. Not red hot, but a nice Indian summer where it's warm, you know. So, although we could do with some rain. I'm giving up a bit on my vegetable garden at the moment. The heat and lack of rain is just killing it. I mean, we're watering things as much as we can. We've harvested quite a bit of stuff. We've lost quite a bit of stuff. And when I did my garden vlog, I forgot to show you my tomatoes. I realised a couple of days later, oh, I didn't show you my tomatoes. I forgot to swing around and look at them. I've got green tomatoes forming on them. I've not got no red ones yet. But I've got a lot of yellow leaves because the sun is just killing them. You water them, but I think no matter how much you water things, it's not the same as rainwater, is there? Rainwater just seems to bring everything to life. So we're doing our best with them, and it's not brilliant this year. Put me off a bit, really. I know it shouldn't, but I feel a bit off it. I'm thinking about my garden, thinking maybe I need to plan it to go with the weather now. Maybe I should have more of an autumn garden. Or if I can just do a salad garden, something like that. I've got to think about it. But I want to start a herb garden. I didn't get around to doing all the herb garden this year. But I'm hoping now to plan it over winter and start a herb garden next year and do it as part of Sean's schooling as well. You know, looking at medicinal plants and things that are healthy, that sort of thing. So yes, that's what I'm hoping to do. So I think that's all I've got to tell you. I can't think of anything that I was thinking I was going to tell you about. Nothing majorly exciting's happened. It's all pretty quiet, really. For saying that it's a 6-week summer holidays, we've not heard many children. Like, used to hear children up and down the street. Used to get the ice cream man come round. Do you know, it's all quiet, hardly any children, and I've not seen an ice cream man round this year at all. I've seen one situated at the park, but he used to come round the block. He used to love the sound of the ice cream van, and he was round, I think he came last year, but not heard him this year at all. So maybe the cost of fuel, that's put paid to that. Maybe that's another thing of the past now. It's a shame, really. Times are changing fast. But yeah, thinking about times changing fast, and things are always occurring, and you know, you seem to find lots of problems lately. I was thinking about my other channel. I can't get on with it as a gardening channel, and I think because this year the way things have been in the garden, and I've not gone out much when it's hot, I've just not got on with it, and I just sort of lost heart in that a bit. So I'm thinking, I've not got rid of the channel, it's still there, but I'm thinking I'm going to change it and maybe have it as a chatty channel, more about current events, things that are happening, maybe like a Dear Diary type of thing, where I probably won't come on every day, but you know, go on and sort of chat about things, how things are affecting us, and you know, you tell me how things are affecting you, and maybe we can all chat together and help each other in a way, I suppose, even just by talking. But this is what I'm thinking about, just a chatty channel where we can just discuss things that are going on, what we think, what we feel, you know, that sort of thing. I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that'd be a good idea? Because sometimes I feel like I need to have a rant about things, and I don't want to do that on my homeschool channel, because I want to make this channel about, you know, what Sean's doing with her homeschooling and things like that, and day trips out, educational trips, things like that. I just want it more to that. I know we have a little chat at the end, and I always say what's been going on, you know, little home life chat at the end, and that's fine, that's okay. But I thought something like, you know, about just having a chat about events, life, things like that, things that are affecting us, things that are going on in the world. Just a chatty channel, really. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that'd be a good idea? Because I don't think my gardening one's doing anything, and I just totally want to revamp that, really, the gardening. I'm not getting rid of my garden, but I do need to think about it all, and, you know, like the weather situations and everything, you know, how the weather's affecting everything. I do want to revamp the garden and think about that. And I do want to make it more of a herbal garden, I think. I want to go a lot more down that route. But we'll see how that goes. I'll plan that over autumn and winter, the dark nights when I'm sat, you know, and I'll sit and plan that then. And I can see how everything's gone, the full picture of it this year then. So, yeah, we'll see. So that's what I'm thinking anyway. It's just a thought. Let me know what you think about it, whether you think that's a good idea, whether you'd like to sort of join me on a chatty channel that chats about all things, life, family, anything like that. You know, and this one will obviously stay in my homeschool channel. So I don't have time to chat about both things on one channel anyway. We'd be here all day, every day, I think. So yeah, that's it for this week anyway. So we'll see you now next Tuesday, all being well. If you don't see me Tuesday, watch out for me Wednesday, but hopefully I'll aim for Tuesday. And we'll have this little mystery. You can tell me what you think about it, and I'll show you some pictures to do with it next week. So until then, have a nice week and take care of yourselves. Bye.